If you were in the western part of the United States during the end of the 2000s, beginning of 2010s decades, you would have witnessed one of the quickest expansions and falls of a business empire ever. This business's downfall was so quick that all of its stores officially closed just a year before Obama left the White House. They started a year before he was elected. The business I'm talking about is none other than Tesco's Fresh and Easy. If you aren't familiar with Tesco, it is the largest supermarket chain in Britain, along with Sainsbury's and Asda. Think of it like Kroger is here in the US. Well, it all started one day in 2006 when the CEO at the time, Terry Leahy, was like,
"What if we expanded to America? I mean, surely if we're able to dominate the market here at home, we can handle doing business overseas."
And so Fresh and Easy was born. Obviously, Western Americans are a completely different consumer base than Brits, so they had to adapt. And boy did they try to adapt. Tesco aimed to appeal to the natural and healthy trend at the time, which was popular among the young millennials and late Gen Xers. So instead of simply bringing Tesco as it is in Britain to the US, they wanted to be ambitious and appeal to the American crowd as much as possible. In November of 2007, the first Fresh and Easy store was opened in Hemet, California. These stores provided a much more streamlined experience than the usual American supermarket. It was typically the size of a Walgreens, and they focused on having fresh food from their own brand rather than having big brand names. Fresh and Easy's main competition were more local markets like Stater Brothers, Albertsons, or perhaps even the other growing markets that were similar like Trader Joe's. Unfortunately, that didn't click with the American crowd, as by 2008 Tesco had already lost more than $200 million in funding for the market chain. And as if their luck couldn't get any worse, Tesco decided to open up shop just a month before the Great Recession of 2007. Still, Tesco persisted. The chain grew to about 200 locations at their peak, but the stores made no profit at all. Fresh and Easy was only a burden to Tesco, as it only lost money rather than making any sort of profit. One of the biggest disappointments had to have been from the employees. Some employees that reported their experience at the company reported to have a mostly positive experience. There were some difficulties with the equipment used at the stores, but other than that, most remember the experience fondly, which made it all the more disappointing when many lost their jobs once Fresh and Easy closed up shop. In 2013, Tesco sold Fresh and Easy and its brand to Yucaipa Brands. Yucaipa eventually had to close off any stores left and sold its assets in auctions. Today, most don't remember this offspring of a foreign titan, but its effect is still felt. Fresh and Easy is one of the most unique consumer experiences of our time. And if you ask anyone who remembers shopping there, they'd most likely tell you that it was very different from any other grocery store today. Yes, stores like Trader Joe's and Aldi exist today, but Fresh and Easy was a pioneer for this sort of shopping experience in America. If you look around certain shopping centers, you could almost always tell where Fresh and Easy used to be. They had a very flamboyant design for their buildings, and that color palette with the logo is almost iconic. The market chain wasn't afraid to be different. It didn't try to be anything that was around in the US at the time, but the timing couldn't be any worse, and Tesco seemed to give up on it too quickly. Additionally, Tesco expanded way too fast, and they just couldn't keep up with their own pace. Perhaps if Tesco took their time and continued to emphasize their quirks, Fresh and Easy could have been up there next to Aldi and Trader Joe's. Until next time Tesco or Fresh and Easy decide to return here, if they ever do, this is Mint tuning out.
We interrupt this program to bring you